going on? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yep. What's good?
Oh man, everything, man. Everything. Yeah, man. So what you how was your weekend, man?
I was eventful weekend as usual. Um, so you always ask me this, and I don't ever remember. I feel like when someone go to church and they be like, "How was church?" And you like, "Man, it was wonderful." And you be like, "I don't remember anything." I don't hear you now. Mm-mm. Was I able to hear you before? Let me see. You're muted. Maybe that's why. Yeah, you're still muted, Ron.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, there you go. Yeah, man. So good evening, folks. My name is LeBron J. And
Well, my fault. You got to add on the magnificent, the sometimes omniscient. No, you ain't omniscient, but you are the man.
yeah, well, welcome back to the T and J Radio. We got a good show today. Again, my name is LeBron J, aka Steve Rogers. I could do this all day, and you are.
Well, William A. Thomas. Uh, you know, can't do it all day, but I'm here for a couple hours.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna get into it, man. We got some good topics today, man. If you want to reach out to us, we're gonna talk a little bit. Set the tone. We kind of start off slow, and then you can come into the comments and click on and give us your opinion on the situation. Ain't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be an interesting show. A lot to talk about. Obviously, as you can see on the header, guys, Simone Biles has been in the news all day. But you know, before we get into that, Ron, how was your weekend?
Man, it was great. Get a chance to do nothing. See, I'm busy all week, man. So what I take pride in is doing nothing. You know what I mean? I just sat around, chill, watched a little TV, watched a little UFC on this weekend. It was great. Let me fix my camera here.
It's all good. You probably got a lot of men jealous right now. Well, whenever you're younger, you're always trying to go run out and go do something. Then you get to that point where when you have the ability to do nothing, that,
That's what I'm talking about. That's what we strive for, man. To be bums, man. To just do nothing, man. That's what we're trying to do, man. Right?
absolutely.
Yeah, but we work so hard to chill and do nothing. I'm just trying to do it sooner than later.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, how's the weather out there, man? It's storming down here, man. I'm in South Georgia for the people. If you're watching this on Facebook, definitely help us out. Go to YouTube, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. That would definitely be great. Also, if you want to support the channel, give me a second. I'm gonna put up the Cash app here. Bam, you want to support the channel? Yeah, but it's been raining, man. It's been really thunderstorming, man. My baby got a baby girl. She heard the boom boom and she ran under my leg. Looking around like, what is going on? Is Thor on the roof?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it
So
was pretty bad.
now is this one of them tropical storms does the storm have a name to it? That's all you got to
No,
know.
no, I don't. It doesn't. But like when you're in South Georgia, North Florida, it can rain like with one cloud over your house. You drive off and it's not raining. So, but that's pretty much what it is. But I think it's done now. I was worried that I might have some technical difficulties because of the storm, but I think it's good for the rest of the day.
Okay. Yeah, up here in Pittsburgh, it's been pretty, we've been having a bit of, for us, a heat wave. 90 degrees on average, sometimes a little bit more each day. So definitely, if you're up in Pittsburgh, you probably been in the pool, except for Highland Park. Know why? Because in Highland Park, they decided to start shooting at the pool. So no pool for Highland
Oh,
Park today.
what happened?
Yeah.
You can't just gloss over that, man. What?
I mean, I just saw the news report come up real quick saying that people were shooting at the Highland Park pool. I'm like, man, just thinking about that, a lot of kids are there, a lot of families, they have their cookouts there. For anyone who doesn't know, Highland Park in Pittsburgh, it's not like Highland Park in Texas where it's like a bunch of rich people. Highland Park is probably a middle class neighborhood, and the park is this big park and has a pool, volleyball court, has a lot of picnic areas, and a lot of people have their reunions, different dinners, things like that there. So for someone to actually be shooting at that pool, which is in the center of that park, that's terrible, and it's not a good precedent to set, because you don't want to have it to where there's a lot of you know aren't police always there. You don't want people afraid to go there. You don't want the wrong crowd to be not afraid to go there.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, man. I mean, that's how it always is. I remember going down to skating ring in Pittsburgh, and I went a few times, and that was it, man. I saw them fighting and hitting people with skates and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I ain't come down for this. I barely can skate. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to learn and hang around with my friends, and they out here banging. So I
How
was like, you know
are you
what?
on skates?
Huh?
you know, I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what about them cool people who be skating backwards and stuff with the girl like that? Like, I was like, how do you do this?
oh
You know how
man,
to skate?
I got to use that little walker. I'm over. here.
Hey man, I ain't mad at you because I remember I went to a party. It was way back. I'm dating myself. It was like '94. I went there, man. I was getting balled up. It was all the people in the school was there, and I was just like sliding into the concession stand. Like, I'm eating my fries there because I couldn't skate over to the seat. I was like, nah, man, I'm cool with this, man.
Oh man. Well, Swanee, he said he was a thug on skates. Now,
Man,
Swanee, were you on the four, the regular what are they called, inline skates, or were you on the roller blades? Were you over there with the blades? In fact, the roller blades that don't get the brake.
couldn't stand them fools. They just pulled up to you like, you know what I'm saying? I could stand that. I was so jealous. Like, how do you do this?
Then they put the limbo on, and they all going under there so cool. It's
Man, I'm gonna learn though. I'm old now, but I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn before my little baby girl. She won. I'm gonna get it before her.
okay. I mean, make sure if you do that limbo, if you go down, make sure you can get back up.
I don't know if the knees gonna work though. I don't know if I can do all that. You're going too far now. I just want to go around a couple times, get a couple laps in. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do all what you talking about.
Mm.
Shoot. Shout out to my boy Chaz, man. Chaz Hawley, Charles Hawley. Live in Atlanta from Pittsburgh. He's going to get married in Hawaii in 2 weeks. So I'll be going out there and I'm really excited about that. It's the first time I've been out there. Yes, yes, my
Okay,
wife and I.
go
We
ahead.
got we had a whole week, no kids. Oh man, it's gonna be so great, man.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to it. I think well, I don't know. He told me my man Little might be out there. We'll see. See if he'd be out there. That'd be dope if he did. Him and his wife. Shout out to Little. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I didn't prepare well because I had my whole mind set up on like I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna start like 90 days. Man, I just gave in. I was like, I ain't doing it. I'm like, the pictures is not going to be televised. That's what I told my wife. She want to be televised in the picture. I'm like, this is for us. This is actually going to be our 10th year anniversary. Let me give a shout out to me. Yes,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. 10 years. We're really excited. Um, She's looking younger than ever. I'm not, but I'm gonna turn around like Benjamin Button in my mind.
Well, you know how that is, man. We gotta just put the hard work in. We're blessed to have women who care about health. And
Right, right.
that's always a blessing.
Yeah, I mean, you up on what 11 years, man, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh man, black love right there, man. What's up, man? Black love. They said we couldn't do it.
yeah, absolutely.
Hey, you looking to the right? Is your wifey right there?
Uh,
To your left.
I can't confirm or deny that.
All right, yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'll blink if
I got you. Yeah, so let's get to the topic, man. What we like to do, typically, what we like to do is get people on early, because we don't want to sway people's views, but we're just going to start. And if you want to get in a little bit, we'll put the link down below in the comments, and we're going to talk about it. So the first thing we're going to talk about, well, not the first, but whatever things take us. Oh man, is Simone Biles a hero or a quitter?
mm,
Now I'm on Facebook. I put something on Facebook today, basically saying she is a. Well, I didn't say I didn't. I wasn't specific, but I was saying I don't support quitters, and people coming at me, man,
mm.
and I don't care because I'm on the foolery at an all time high right now. I do not care. Let's see. Before I go further, let's see what somebody said. Let's go here. Somebody, hold
And while we're waiting for that, for anyone that wants to be able to come on, I'm going to actually put the.
don't do it right now. Wait,
I said, hold them off.
wait. I want to hear your thoughts because you always delegate the thoughts to somebody else. I got to hear what you going to say today. You're like, welcome to our next caller. I'm like, and then I tell you to say something like, oh, the show's over.
You know how it is. We do the after talk.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just paraphrase. Somebody, real quick, somebody came at me talking about what if Tom Brady's stats was changed and they changed the rules for him and all this. Man, listen, we're gonna go into that, but a lot of people saying like defending her on this I guess her mental health struggle. Right. But we're gonna talk about that. What else you got on here on the banner?
1 second, because all right. So have on there about Minnesota fourth graders. They were told not to tell their parents about the equity survey. A lot going on in that education, arena. We talked about the critical race theory, but it's kind of, a scary situation where your kid's being told, like, don't tell. That almost sounds like something a rapist would say, right?
Who said that? Like you said, someone said, "Don't tell." Was it the teachers?
The
Did they
teacher.
have to sign something, or they just like, what was that about?
Well, so there was a survey, and in it was talking about feelings about equity, and there was a young girl, at least just her. I don't know if there were more, but she was saying that she was uncomfortable with the questions, and the teacher had told her, told all of them, don't say anything to your parents about this survey. So a lot of people are kind of up in arms. Imagine anyone telling a kid that in a normal situation, that's already bad. But the educators, they're charged with they spend a lot of time with your kids. And
Right.
in most situations nowadays, they probably spend more time with your kids than than the average person. So that's something huge.
Okay. All right. What else we got on there on the banner?
Oh man, out in space, Jeff donates or I don't know if it's called donate or gift, whatever, but gave Van Jones and Chef Jose Andres $100 million each.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that one.
So we also have on there a New York surgeon. He divorced his wife after finding out that she's a prostitute.
Wow. Wait a minute, man. We gotta talk about that one too, man. 'Cause I got some questions. I got questions.
See, Ben Crump, he's in the news. He's suing Johnson and Johnson on behalf of Black women. And, of course, he's going to give them all the money, right?
Well, we need whenever when Swanee come in because he knows a lot about Crump. So I want to hear what he got to say about that one.
Mm.
If he's available. But
and if this is a big one. We got to definitely cover this. Should Facebook and other social media require an ID before using? There was a conversation about how a lot of people, they say things over social media that they won't say in real life. They may troll, they may bully, different things that are such. And on the View, they were having this conversation, and one of the hosts had actually said that maybe we should require ID before getting on social media. So got a lot to talk about tonight. I'll let you spin the wheel.
All right, well, let's talk about Simone, man, because I'm getting a little heat from that. I'm pretty sure you saw it on Facebook with a couple people getting heat that on our topics. But what you think about it, man? You can start it off.
All right. Well, let me start with Simone. I respect what her as a gymnast and an athlete. She is the most decorated gymnast in history. My opinion, she's the best or the most talented gymnast in history. Simone, Biles, she's been doing stuff that no one can do. Have you watched her?
Not this Olympics, but I watched her in previous ones. Yeah.
In the past, the girl, she's doing all these twists and stuff in the air. And, I had a situation where I briefly got to do that. I remember, one day I was going down to the car, was carrying a couple of things, and I was on the last step. And I took a bit of a tumble. And I was like, man, maybe I should get into gymnastics. But thank God I didn't break anything. But I'm probably not built for gymnastics. But yeah.
You're too tall, man. You're too tall. Short people, man.
Yeah. But so I like what she's doing. She came on the scene strong. And there's been a lot of controversy, surrounding her. Initially, the big controversy was her hair. A lot of Black women were, talking about not her feats, not her strength, not what she's doing great. They wanted to talk about her hair.
Right.
So you sit there and think, how does someone feel about that? You just went to the Olympics and just beat Russia and France and all these, and they want to talk about your hair.
And this is the problem. This is the problem I have about that. Most of these people who's defending her now is the one who was talking about her hair, saying that her mom wasn't doing her job. Let's go back to that. We can pull up receipts, but a lot of these people out here talking this stuff like, oh, we need to care about hair. Before you was a whole different groupie. What, 8 years ago?
Yep.
They was going, and that was Black Twitter. That was Black people. So don't say white people don't know about good hair, bad hair. That's our thing.
Right. And they were going in. So, imagine that, because we talked about it before, growing up, especially, both of us are on the darker persuasion, and a lot of jokes and things like that. Who did that come from? That came from our own people, the, darky, African booty scratcher, all those different things that came from our people. And that can actually affect someone to where someone could end up saying, like, I'm having, mental health issues in regards to that.
Right.
Or either that, or they're going to be fighting, all day, and it might be undiagnosed and they just beating people up, or, whatever it is. But that stuff hurts.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward a little bit. Okay. Uh, Simone Biles, after the first Olympics, she goes to another one, does the same thing, kicks butt, takes names, getting golds here and there. And that's definitely great. But I remember something really unique. You remember she was on Dancing with the Stars?
Yep.
Okay, so she steps into this other arena, and I don't know if she danced as a child or anything like that. Gymnastics is gymnastics. It's they do have floor routines and things like that, but she wasn't doing so well. And some of the let me give you some of the comments that were said. One second here. Um, because she was saying that, all right, one second. All right. So one of the comments that one of the judges had said, I'd like to see more authenticity about who you are when you perform. And that could be from, some type of people. Some people are very methodical in what they do. Some people are robotic. That's a person more like me, people perfectionists and so on. May not have all the character. Um, One of the other judges, and this is what kind of stuck with me. Let me see, where is it at? Carrie Ann. One of the judges, I don't remember which one, but they said that you need to smile more. And you know what her comment was back to them? She said smiling doesn't win gold medals.
Wow.
So that can be taken multiple ways. It could be taken as like she's serious about whatever she's doing. Um, it could be taken as a shot back, and it could be an arrogance. I want to say that she probably isn't. I think relating to the type of person, I think it's more so the person, like she's very methodical. She's a perfectionist. That type of person. And she worked on whatever and she lost, but there was a lot of angst and stuff going on. We fast forward to a year from now, a year before now. Sorry about that. There was a situation in regards to the points. In fact, in what was it? 2009. 2009, they had actually I think it was 2009. They changed the point system to allow gymnasts to be able to capitalize more, get more points off of doing harder things. So if you do things that are more difficult, then you'll get more points. You'll get higher scores. So Simone came in and she's doing these things that no one can do. And for a couple of years, she's dominating. She's getting the high marks and things like that, which is deservedly so. And about a year ago, because a lot of people are acting like this happened now. A year ago, there was a controversy where they're saying that, like, hey, we don't want people doing all these things that are dangerous, so we can't give like extra credit for it because these things are dangerous. And if more gymnasts start doing it, then they can get hurt. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with that. My opinion is that, like, hey, if she's dominating, let her, get the recognition for it. But I also understand what they're saying, because it's just like, I could give my son, recognition and, for taking the garbage out on time. But if he says, all right, I'm going to jump out of the second floor window with the garbage bag and do this roll and things like that, and even if he survives, I'm going to probably tell him to stop. Like, don't do that,
Well, fairness to her, she's done it in practice many a time. So she's doing it on the mat. She can do it.
Well, once again, I think that she should get the extra points for it. I don't really agree with them. You know.
Well, you have to figure Olympics has always done United States wrong.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So this is not the first time. So for people who saying this, like, what if this? You haven't been watching the Olympics. There was a time when uh what's his name? Roy Jones Jr. should have won gold, and they cheated him. You know, it's just the Olympics. I mean, this is what it is. So you make a valid point on that. Now, what I want to say though, or before you sound like you get to your thesis. Go ahead, finish up.
Oh no, go ahead, make your point.
Now, um, oh, okay. So real quickly, because I was looking it up in 2017. The same people who claimed they're defending her, they were talking bad on her. Like when she's posted in the picture, she actually got her a perm because of people because they were shaming her hair. One person said, "I really cringe when I see a pretty black girl with her hair not laid to some degree." They were crushing her,
Yep.
and then the next event, she's sitting there with a because I believe it was like in a ponytail, right? It wasn't kept or whatever. And they toasted her, and she was killing these people. That's what I'm like. What are y'all talking about? Now you care about her feelings?
Yep. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of I don't know whether to
Hold
say.
on, I'm sorry. This is her response to one of the trolls. Just came straight from a 4-hour practice with my hair in a bun. Excuse my hair. Ha ha. This is what black people do. And then they want to act like they want to be the savior. Oh, they want to defend their own. But you just sat there and publicly shamed this girl. Now, this is not why, I did some research and apparently the reason why she's acting like that. Now, let me give you a question. Do you know this name? Let me find it right here. One second. Did this name ring a bell to you?
Mhm.
Uh, Larry Nasir. I think I'm saying it right, or Nassar.
Oh yeah,
What do you
but
know about that?
that's their former coach, right?
Right. Do you know the story behind it?
I just know that he's behind bars because because of unfortunately molesting the girls. I don't know anything beyond that.
So he allegedly, well, it's not alleged because he's in jail. He molested 100 girls, and she was one of them.
Oh wow,
That
I didn't.
changes a lot, doesn't it? And so when she had trauma when she came back to Tokyo. So that's what's going on right now. She's having trauma from being molested.
Mm,
What
wow.
do you say to that?
Yeah. Well, did she vocalize that?
Yes.
Mm, yeah, I didn't hear about that. But yeah, that's deep.
I actually did a video about it today. Josie Sports Nation, shout out to that. But yeah, she's having trauma about that. Like, so what this is my thing about it, and we're going to take you out, Jimmy. We see you in the comments. You can actually put the link in the comment box right now. But what I'll say to this, and I said it on my video, I don't condone that. Like he should be under the jail. He should have got the death penalty for that because that is traumatic experience for anyone to have. When you feel like you're not in control. She's having episodes where she wants to kill herself, right? So I totally understand where she's coming from. However, this is what I was saying. I was saying the fact that she got to understand that people are counting on her right now. Probably every couple seconds, someone's getting raped out here, and they don't know what to do, and their family's not saying anything. And so I'm saying, if she would have fought through this and told her story after, even if she would have failed, that's going to help that child who's getting who can't who don't have a voice. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
She should have fought through it. I'm not equating anything equal, because people get raped, and people have traumatic experiences, but people lose family members, people get illnesses, their child get illnesses. We all going through something, and this is what this sports usually take us away from reality. You know what I mean? If they like, it would have been so huge if she would have finished this whole thing and was like, because she would have so much support. She already has support right now, but she would have get so much more support. You know, Michael Jordan, he lost his father. No one gave him support like this. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
father was murdered, and when he won that championship in 1996, that made me feel good. When he was crying on that ground, crying with that trophy, that touched everybody's heart, man. When you remember Isaiah Thomas that played for the Boston Celtics, he
Mm.
played a playoff game when his sister died. The same day he heard, he scored 50 points. It's not about the game. It's about who you touching. You seeing that? Because somebody wants to be like her. You understand? Um, Joe Dumars, one time he was playing against the Bulls, and he was just making shots, just making shots. He was wondering, he was looking at the camera like Michael Jordan was before. And right before that, his father passed away. His father was a big time fan of him and went to every game, but he was not at this one game. And no one told him until the end of the game. They told him after the game, but he didn't take any time off. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. When I was growing up, I ain't gonna say my issues or anything. I'll never say that. But what I'll say from like you got to learn how to cope with things. Like it's not what happened to you; it's what you do after the fact. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
when I was in the neighborhood, going through whatever I was going through, and some people had vices of drugs and alcohol. I didn't do that. I went to the basketball court. That was my way of getting away from things. I loved it. So my thing is, if she loved, and I would recommend her go do what you love to do. And if being a gymnast is not it, then just quit. You proved your point. You know what I mean? Like you knew you were raped, and you knew this was a place of trauma before you even tried out for this. You should have not have done that. But it doesn't matter what I say. She's still getting the support. You know what I mean? But it is a double standard. You know, it's a double standard because uh, when playoff, what's his name? Uh, Paul. What's the dude that played for the Los Angeles Clippers?
Um, Chris
George.
Paul. I mean,
No, the other one. George Paul. Is it? Paul George. Paul George.
George.
Paul George. This dude's going through something. I don't know what he's going through, but he's going through something, and he's failing on the court, and people labeling him saying, what did they call him? What did they call him? You was telling me the other day, Pandemic P.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're labeling these people. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons was going through something, right? They're
Yeah.
trashing him on social media. It's a double standard.
He didn't want to take the layup.
Right. Whatever he was going through,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I do have sympathy for her. What I'm saying is, and like I said, I wish she would have not even showed up. Maybe you would have gave another person an opportunity. Apparently, this team is a whole new team. So the team that she went with didn't either try out or didn't make the team, right? So this is a whole new team. So she took one person's spot. If you knew you didn't want to be here, you know.
Mm.
But go ahead.
Well, I was looking at the reports from back in April, and she said that she was coming out there to represent them. You know, the survivors.
Hmm.
That's what she's competing for. Now, whenever people say that, um, you kind of get the gist that someone is going forward to go and fight for whatever that cause is. So I can't say as far as what was going on in her head at the time. And other than you mentioning that just now, I wasn't actually aware that that actually came out. So I'll have to go research it, later. But
Mhm.
what's going on? One of the problems is that the response of the people is that, okay, if you have an issue with mental health and you step away, that's one thing. But to put it as if this is heroics, to keep on saying it, that's a problem. What are you saying to the next generation? Anytime something ends up happening, you're going to they're going to say, well, it's mental health.
Right.
And there are people right now who are unfortunately abusing that in places where people who actually do have real mental health issues going on. Mental health is real, but it's not a matter of, mental health is not heroics. It's not bad. Mental health is mental health.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. So we have to stop assigning a trophy onto things that shouldn't necessarily have a trophy. If someone's going to get the help that they need, then that's definitely great, and they should do it. But some people don't want to be the hero also at the same time, and that can actually discourage some people from actually using not using but exercising their choice in regards to mental health when they actually should.
And this is what I want to say to the people who say, well, they changing rules for her. Oh my gosh. They change rules all the time when someone dominates. It's not just her. Do you remember the NBA? Wilt Chamberlain was scoring 100 points at one point. And what's the other guy who dominated college? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was dunking on everybody. They said you can't dunk anymore. When Jordan was controlling everybody with his arm, what did they do? They took out of where you can't touch them anymore.
Yep, no
They
hand.
change rules all the time. What are we talking about? So now it happens to a woman. Oh man, they trying to come after her. They've been doing it for the last since sports has evolved. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's if you look at basketball, it's a short man's game now. It was not always like that. They
Mm-hmm.
changed the rules. There was a point when they in 1995 to 1997 they moved the 3-point line from 23 feet to 22. They changed the rules in the NFL to where you can't touch the quarterbacks.
Yep.
What are we talking about here? So this is what I'm saying. This is double standard.
How y'all feel about the tuck rule, guys? Because
Everybody hate Brady because of it, right?
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get you got anything else to say about it?
No.
I'm ready to hear from the people now. I hope we got a round up. Let's get Swatty on first and then get Jimmy on.
All right, I got you. Swanee.
Yo,
Today, man.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yep.
I said I'm representing today. Got your shirt on, man.
Oh, no doubt, my man.
Oh,
man, gotta represent.
It's on. and that's how I started off. It's on, man. Oh man, y'all going hard, man.
What you think about that, man? What you think of what we said, man? I know you was boiling over there.
Man, I'm steaming right now, man. Nah, man. Hey, listen, I respect y'all opinions, man, and the perspective. I understand. This is a deep topic, and it's sensitive to a whole lot of people, on it. But you got to think about it. From my perspective on it is, I said in the comments, we don't need the Olympics as Black Americans. The Olympics need us. if we were not in the Olympics, the U.S. would not be winning golds like we've been winning golds. To be truthful, but yeah, the point you brought up about her being molested by the previous coach, that's deep. I'm not sure how much she was involved with that. If she was part of that, I think you mentioned she was.
He was.
She was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So and did it where did that happen at? Do you remember?
Well, to my knowledge, it was like it happened for years. I don't know directly because it was their doctor. Apparently, it was like the doctor that checked all the gymnasts, and he molested like hundreds of them. You know, so it's not just her, but she's having real trauma right now. Apparently, she's every so often she'll say she's having suicidal thoughts and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I support her. No matter what, I support her. Whatever she decides to do. Is she a hero? I don't know if she's a hero. But I would say definitely she's brave. To have the courage to do what she did in the height of the Olympics. Is she doing it for America? Is she doing it for herself, or is she doing it for her people? She made a decision for herself to step aside, and it's still not over with. She still may perform. Later on. So this
Well,
decision she made right now.
I think she said she's not doing individual. Is that the other thing that she was doing?
She's out.
Yeah,
She's
out.
She's out. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she decided not to go be in it. Well, you got want to ask anything?
Do you ever I mean, like whenever you get a chance, if you could pull a source on the what she was saying as far as the coach, but
Okay.
yeah, definitely, so last time we had dialogued on it, Swanee, it was probably a whole different tone, but like I said, I definitely do respect what she's done, but my thing is that I just think a lot of people, they fake. A lot of people, they just kind of hopping on the hype train. Because just like we were talking about earlier, a lot of people are saying that. Same people sitting there talking about her edges ain't laid, or whatever stupid stuff like that.
Now you remember when Ronda Rousey got knocked out and she had suicidal thoughts? She's actually defending her as well. I mean, we don't know what they go through as athletes, but I just feel like if you put yourself in that situation, you got to do it or just step away. It's no harm in stepping away. There's a lot of athletes stepping away and doing something different. If you can't handle it, then just step away. You proved your point. Your records probably won't be broken. I would like to see her again. You know what I mean? I think it would have been such an amazing event if she would have just did it for her team. Did it for the people who got raped before. You know what I'm saying? Like you're doing it for them. That, like I said, when Michael Jordan played and his father passed away, like my father passed away, and I had to keep on going. That was a very stressful situation. The people that know me, and shout out to Swanee's family, man. I mean, I don't know if I ever told you, but somebody in your family, I don't want to put them out there, but that person was the only one who cared when that happened to me. It was my senior year, and I was sitting there. I came back to school. I was depressed. No one cared, and the person came over there and gave me a hug. That was the only person I cared. And you get what I'm saying? Like that meant a lot. And so to see, like when I saw Michael Jordan do that after he lost his father, I'm like, man, I'm riding with him, man, because I had to keep on going. Shout out to my sister. Like she was in my corner, my mom and everything, but it wasn't a lot of people that was in my corner. And that's why I'm like, that would have did so much for the morale of the people who dealt with that. But like I said, they probably still excited about that, because they feel like, well, that's a big stand going to, anyway, she's basically like, I'm not going to play. So I mean, people's gonna get inspired either way, but for me, I would have liked to see her play.
Yeah, man, I would agree with everything you said, and in that perspective. Um, but at the same time, you made a good valid point. Right now we don't know really what's behind her stepping aside, other than the comments that she made. Now we really need to put our arms around her. You know what I mean? Support her because maybe that's what she needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, who knows what other things she may be dealing with besides the past. But the pressure of the Olympics is huge. Yes, we want to see her go out there and do all kind of amazing things. That's what we look forward to. But to be honest, she done out already. She really don't have nothing else to prove. Does she have some time to get back on the mat? Absolutely. And I think right now, it's probably the best time for us just to support her decision and wrap our arms around her, so she can have whatever she needs to move forward. Because not everybody is strong. You know what I mean? And we all grieve differently. And some folks can move on right away, and some folks can't. Especially if they don't have grief counseling, you know what I mean? Because there's things still that I experience that every once in a while that I think about, and maybe she's going through that right now. So I would say that we just need to wrap our arms around her. I don't think she's a quitter. I just think she did give up, yes, for sure, but for reasons we really don't know why.
Now, this is what I said, and I said on my video, and it is what it is. I believe it's a parenting issue. I remember watching her movie on Lifetime, um, and she was living in a single parent household. Her mom was working all the time, and one thing I worry about is like these women, being a single parent, they're just dropping their kids off with the trainers and stuff like that, or the coaches, and they just let them go like they trust these people. You
Mhm.
can't trust anybody around your kids. I don't blame her for that. I blame the hundreds of people because they look at the lights and the glamour like, man, my child going to make it to the NFL or my child going to make it there. Like think about what happened with Penn State.
Yeah,
All them kids got touched
for years.
For
for
years.
years.
Yep.
We
Yep.
ain't know nothing about it. You know what I mean? Like we need to be more involved with our kids' lives. We need to stick together, man. There was I was looking at something today. I don't know. I mean, I'm going a little off topic, but I'm gonna get Jimmy on because I want to hear what he got to say about it. But we always talk about 1964 was the biggest um thing that happened in Black America. Like what they did in 1964 is worse than Jim Crow laws because during Jim Crow laws we were still together. We were still married.
Absolutely.
And it was almost a benefit because I didn't know this, but I found this out. In the South, it was nothing but black construction workers. The reason for that is because they was able to because here's the thing with racist. Racists will support their own, but they'll support themselves first. And what I mean by that is they'll be racist, but if they can make money and save money, they're gonna work with a black person. So that's what was going on in the South. So you had all these construction workers, black construction work. There wasn't even no white construction workers because black people was cutting them out because they was getting lower money. So when they went up to the north and started getting the government contracts, and then that's when they made a law basically saying that's when the labor unions came in and said you can't do that. We got to get a good wage. So they started giving it to the white folks. That's what happened with the labor unions. And I know you involved with that, but that's what happened with that. And you probably know a
That's a
lot
true
more.
story. Absolutely.
So
Hey, it's
um,
crazy that real quick that it ended up benefiting the white and the white that then considered them white, the Irish.
Yes.
Yep.
mm,
Yep.
okay, elaborate on it, man. Go ahead, man. Keep talking. I mean, I'm looking up.
Well,
I know about this.
back then the Irish they were considered like us. They were considered the N word. Basically. So, um, that once those unions start coming in, like that's when you see like O'Malley's and they
Oh man, hold on. Jimmy's boiling up in the chat. We gotta get him on. Oh,
now
go
Jimmy
ahead.
come through cool, but he might be on 100, 1,000.
He's gonna be 100. Write down your notes, man. Don't forget what you're gonna say. Finish your statement, and we'll get him on.
Nah, I'm conceded to either Swanee or Jimmy.
Yeah, real quick before you get Jimmy on, man, because I know Jimmy tripping. He can't wait to trip. Nah, but the truth about the labor unions, and there's a lot of us amongst my union, all the black leaders and the rank and file membership. We got to know that you got to understand the history of the labor unions, man, because just think about way back in the day, after World War I, I believe we became sharecroppers, or people became sharecroppers, and they wanted to start and form their own union. And then the white folks came in, destroyed the whole thing, end up killing almost everybody. Okay. And then the labor unions really started getting big in the 1930s. And what that really did was it really gained, who really benefited from it was more Irish folks and more white folks than black folks. They weren't even allowed to even black folks wasn't even allowed to even join the unions back in the day.
Wow.
And we're still having this conversation right now within our union because there's not a lot of leaders that look like me and us, in these positions. So that's where the conversation is right now, and it's deep. It's very important.
So is that the Hart-Celler Act that they did? Is that what it is? You familiar with that act?
You talk about the say it one more time. I think it's the Hartley something.
Hart-Celler Act, I think. Is that it? Hart-Celler?
Yeah, it's something to that effect. I can't think of the exact name. Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Man. Oh, but what I want. Okay, well, I'm gonna get Jimmy on. We'll talk about it in a minute. But
yep.
Give me 1 second. You mind if I put you in the queue real quick? I'll put you right back on.
No problem.
All right. You ready, man? We got the dog about to come out, man.
Hold on, let me take a sip real quick. A little bit of water to cool down. I'm done with my root beer. That was root beer, guys, by the way.
Hey, man, take off that label, man. We can't show that unless we get paid. We get a check, man. That's why. All right, man. What's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing good. They're doing good. How's your day?
Man, everything's going great, man. Everything's going great. Y'all can hear me okay?
Hear you great.
First of all, just right off the top.
Hold on real quick before you go.
Ask me no question. I'm going to tell you why I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you why I'm mad.
First of all, I found out that the young lady was molested by one of her doctors, and hundreds of other girls were molested, and that's sad. That's terrible. So I want to get that out of the way. And if anybody is struggling with mental health, that's tough too, and I feel sorry for that. All right. But now, and they have my sympathy in that. But now that we got that out of the way, she reported that thing with her doctor. She talked about that on the Today Show 3 years ago, well before this Olympics. Okay. The only problem I have with what she did is if she did not feel she had what it takes to cut it, she should not have taken up space on the team. All right. Now, when you say, I'm bringing y'all some heat tonight, so don't be mad at me because I'm finna get controversial. Don't get mad. So strap on your seatbelt. If you say you got,
You got the floor. Go ahead.
Okay. If you say you got a problem with your mental health and you're an Olympian, you know what I'm gonna say to you? Caitlyn Jenner. You say Simone Biles, I'm gonna say Caitlyn Jenner. You know who that is?
I don't even know the dude that was on the Wii.
Bruce Jenner.
Oh, okay.
The Catholic. That's 10
Caitlyn.
different events, several gold medals, 10 different events. Now listen, back in the day, Bruce Jenner, who is now Caitlyn, a woman, he had a problem. He had a mental issue. He wanted to, I don't know if you call it a mental issue, but he wanted to dress as a woman, wear pantyhose, high heel shoes, stockings, lipstick, everything like that. He was living with that struggle, right? He was living with that struggle. But you know what he did? He
What
said,
he did?
I got that problem. I'm finna go ahead and win this decathlon, and I'm gonna get back on that problem later on in life. Okay. And that's what I expect of Simone. And also I have a problem with people saying they admire her courage. Okay. I respect what she has done. I really, really do. Okay. But I don't admire the courage to step down. I would admire her courage to not go up, to not join in, to say, hey, I'm not gonna, this is 3 or 4 years before this guy raped me. I don't feel I got what it takes to go to Tokyo to the Olympics. I'm not gonna get on the team.
Mm.
And that's it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I mean, if you heard what I said, I felt like, she should have just stepped away this year, But I don't know. Maybe she said she thought she could do it. I kind of felt like they don't want to be criticized. Like this crop of athletes hate the media. They hate it. Go ahead.
Well, it's just a different generation of people. Like my mom's generation, she comes from a generation, and my father, they're glad to be able to play the game. My generation, your generation, Will Thomas' generation, we want to play the game, but we want to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
The next generation is saying, well, if the game is too difficult, I'm going to quit.
Wow.
So to a person who's thanking God for being in the game, that's an insult. That's a slap in the face. To somebody who like me, who want to win the game, that's a slap in my face. Look at what people have died. Look who have been run over, killed, and everything else for you to be able to have the opportunity to do this, and then you just let it go.
Yeah.
It's not something you can just let go. So I do feel sorry for her and what happened to her. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a merciless tyrant. Okay. But when she said the way she did it, I don't condone that. No, not at all. That's not championship behavior. And that's not setting a good example to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if she said, I will not be entering the Olympics this year because I'm having mental health issues, because I'm dealing with something, that's how you do it.
Right.
But you have pushed someone else out of the spot and then you didn't do what you were supposed to do.
And I'm big on that. I'm big on when you make a commitment, you go through with that commitment no matter what. I'm big on that. You know what I mean? Who likes someone that you dealing with business and they're so flaky for whatever reason? You know what I mean? Like if you gonna say it, do it.
Wow.
A lot of kids had to deal with that. What Drake said it in one of his lines where he was like, his dad never came. He said he was coming. You know what I mean? Like, what you think about what you got to?
Well, I wanted to, because I think this kind of falls right into it. So, Jimmy, do you think that this generation lacks mental toughness?
They're over with. They're dead. There is no generation. It's over.
Why you say that?
The response of people when they said she quit. Yay, she quit. That's so much courage. If they think that's not courage. They don't know what courage is. They don't know what toughness is. Commitment, sacrifice, toughness, discipline, focus, work ethic, character, integrity. They don't know anything about that, and they're done. It's over. They won't accomplish anything with that mentality. It's over.
Done, huh?
It's done. It's over.
Yeah, because you probably see in the national spotlight that there's a big push for socialism, right? And
yes.
I don't think that a lot of people just woke up and said, you know what? I think I want to be a socialist. I think there's a lot of people that are, they're beat up. They're not trying to fight anymore. If they were fighting and they kind of think that this is a path to get it handed to them, and they'll cloak it in different things, whether it's talking about classlessness or equity or whatever it would be. But that's why this is becoming such a up in the air issue, whereas before it would have got shot down like man, get that out of here. We already saw Russia, USSR. We saw Rocky beat Drago, so we don't want to hear about your
Shout out to Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, socialism, that's just one person saying, hey, take money out of your pocket. Make your life worse so I can make my life better. You give me some of your money so I can make my life better. Give it to me.
Right.
You give it to me. You don't have to drive an Escalade. You can drive an Accord, and then I don't have a car, so I can get a car, and then we'll be even.
See, most people, and I mean, we're kind of going off topic, but I like where we're going. Most people look at racism, but really racism's only in our head, right? The only thing we should be worrying about is discrimination, and usually the market fixed that. The market fixed discrimination, and like for instance, they had to put and I remember you were talking about this, Jimmy, one time, and I would like you to elaborate on it. But you from Alabama, and Alabama wasn't getting African American students, right? And there was it Alabama? You want to talk about that?
Yes. Yeah,
Go
I'll
ahead.
talk about that. At the University of Alabama, Bear Bryant was the coach, and he had been telling the alumni association, you need to let me have black kids. This is what they say. I saw it on special. You need to let me have black boys, black kids. And Alabama was a racist place. It was like, no. So he set up a game between Alabama, I think a Rose Bowl between Alabama and USC. And the running back at that time for USC was Sam Bam Cunningham. That's Randall Cunningham's uncle.
Father or uncle? Okay.
Uncle. And he ran so many yards on Alabama that they were totally ineffective, could not stop him. After the alumni association and stuff saw that game, and the coach was like, hey, I told you, that's when they started to let black players into the school to play football because they were better players.
And that's what I'm saying. It's about the market. The market fixes everything. If we just let the market do what it do, it fixes everything. So it fixed discrimination. Someone can feel the way they want to feel about you, but if you're bringing value, you have skills, they have to take you. If you got cheaper rates, you know what I mean? Because they thinking about themselves first. They didn't care about all that. But
That's true.
yeah. Now I'm gonna get Swanee back on. You can let them both on.
All right. Yep.
Yo, what you think about what Jimmy came in and said, man?
Nah, Jimmy's, again, I respect his opinion, and I respect the perspectives of all you guys, man. But just think about this real quick. Whether somebody gives up, steps aside, or whether they go through with it and lose or win, people are going to criticize you regardless if you do bad or good. You know what I mean? So the fact that she's being criticized because she stepped aside, she took somebody's spot. She should have said she wasn't gonna go through before she started the games. Yeah, we can criticize and all day long about it. But we got to understand the other side to that as well. You know what I mean? Because now, she's being criticized for stepping aside. What if she went through and failed and got injured because she wanted to do a dangerous stunt? Now, I agree, and we got to hold each other accountable. So what y'all saying is on point, because I believe in accountability all across the board, no matter what. She says, like you said, Ron, if she says she's going to do something, she got to do it, and she got to follow through with that. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and so we got to take a step back and evaluate the whole situation. Now, we're giving our opinions on the matter, but at the same time, we don't understand, what she's personally gone through. Now, we're on the outside looking in, and on Josie Sports Nation, which is a great show we had earlier. Shout out to Josie Sports Nation. Subscribe, hit the like button, and share. For sure.
Thank you.
Because it's important, man. Again, we don't know what she's going through. Now, what if one of us was going through some things, and we say, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I train for this, whatever it was, and we get to the interview or we get to to wherever we got to get to, and say, you know what, it's just not in me anymore. I'm gonna have to step aside and allow somebody else to go through.
You can't do that. You can't do that as a man. You can't do that. Like, it's gonna live with you for the rest of your life. Think about all the male athletes that it happened to, and they had some like Mendenhall. Remember Mendenhall had that fumble? He can't step back in Pittsburgh. What about Neil O'Donnell? Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw didn't come back to Pittsburgh in 20 years because of what because of his career.
No, to Neil O'Donnell's point, yeah, he's not allowed in Pittsburgh. If I see Neil O'Donnell right now, he's getting it. I'm telling you. I cried that Super Bowl year, man.
Me too.
I was crying like a baby, man.
Because I'm a Cowboys fan.
To the Cowboys, bro.
Oh man. Yeah, he got paid off, man.
Bro, come on now, dog.
Let me mute all.
Come on, man.
It was supposed to happen. The Cowboys were supposed to win that, do what they do. Wide open, Larry Brown.
Hello, I'm about to mute your mic. All right.
Yeah, Will, twice though. Come on, man, that don't happen twice. Cordell Stewart should have been in the game. That's that.
Facts.
Man, y'all didn't let Terry Bradshaw come back for 20 years, though.
No, 20
years. Forget Terry Bradshaw too.
Yeah. In fact, that you just brought something up, Cordell Stewart.
Oh yeah, he's another one that people was coming after because he was had some poor performances,
Well, not just that, but
they already said that he was allegedly gay, because he was sucking from 1998 to 2001. He was horrible. 2000.
He said someone unleashed that that through.
You think if you would have won a Super Bowl in Pittsburgh, they would have done that? Nah.
What's the question?
Well, I was just saying, how people kind of killed Cordell Stewart. I mean, I remember as a kid, I thought that rumor was true.
But like I said, he had a bad year in 98, 97. We almost won and he messed up. I think he was throwing a couple interceptions to I hear some background noise. I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, that's probably me. Hold
on. He had a really bad year once we made the playoffs, and I think we were supposed to win in 97, and he threw a bunch of interceptions to Yancey Thigpen in 98. That's when they started attacking him. If we would have won that championship, they would have never made that rumor about him, and that destroyed him. You know what I mean? Like, it destroyed him. Even to this day, he was on a talk show. This year? I think I did a video about it as well. But it really is a double standard. Nobody cares about Cordell Stewart, and they lied on him, and he was stressed out. Like, that happens all the time with male athletes, but we don't get the same consideration. Now, Swan, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So do you believe it's a double standard with men and women athletes?
I do. I do. I believe there is a double standard. But we got to understand the history. There's a lot of women out there that are, feminists. They all about the feminist movement.
Yeah.
And if you guys have been reading, the NAACP just hired, Vanessa Nkuma, I believe, from Nigeria, to be their digital director, and she's a Black feminist, right?
Wow.
So there's a lot of flack with that right now because of her background. But yeah, with this women's movement, with this, the LGBTQ movement, and and all this stuff going on at the same time, I think it's definitely a double standard. But I think
sorry to cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
Why are men allowing this to happen
to them?
Yeah, like, we're just nonchalant about it. Not we, but men are nonchalant, like, oh, we got to protect our Black women, or we got to protect our women, and these women are looking to take over. Is that not true?
I believe it is true in a lot of minds, and that's because of you mentioned it earlier about the 1960s. A lot has changed since the 1960s. Now, prior to the 1960s, the women and the men, we were on the same household. It's different nowadays. Everybody seems to be independent and doing their own thing, and there's a separation. And there's been separation for years. And I think because of that separation, it caused a lot of men and women really to be more independent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's women out there that say, well, I don't need a man. There's men out there saying, I'm going to be a player for life. So when you got that, there's always going to be a divide. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I believe there's a separation as far as like the double standard that you're referring to. The women have their own movement going on. And the men, we're just out here. We're the most targeted men out here. Black,
You're so
married,
right.
straight. We're the biggest target.
Wow. Man, it's funny you say that because I was doing some research today, and when it comes to Lyndon Johnson, right? He had a chance because, like, it's not what you do, is what you. I mean, it's not what you're worth, is what you negotiate, right? So no one wanted to criticize these leaders in the '60s, but they did a bad deal. They must have got something for it because there was a guy. I don't know if y'all know him, but it was the Moynihan Report. Anybody familiar with that on here?
Mm.
Look it up. The Moynihan Report. I found it out today. In 1965, or when they did this war on poverty, this report, y'all look it up. It was given to him. It was about black men and taking care of the families, keeping it together. And Lyndon Johnson, he turned it down. It was for us. It was for men and keeping us together as a family. So look at it. Moynihan Report. Matter of fact, look it up now.
Yeah,
Will, while I'm talking.
I see on there. Wow. So it says, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, yeah. So this report was for black families, like because the guy he was a Democrat, but all the Democrat that was in the Senate rejected it because it was going to empower us. And what they did was they had another report. I think they put in is the same year. It was I can't remember what it was, but that was the same year where they start allowing a lot of immigrants to come in here. So they was basically trying to replace men in 1964 of black men. Yeah, there it is. So you
see that? Okay.
Yeah, I see it. So so instead of Lyndon Johnson, giving us resources for black men and keeping the families together, he tore us apart by giving them incentives to keep empowering these women because they knew we were going to be weaker if men didn't run their household. Because, like I said before, and just like Swanee, you always say, and Will and Jimmy, they what they did in 1964 did much more damage than the Jim Crow laws. Right there, because like I said, the families were together back then. We were getting our education up north at least, and then down south they were skilled workers. And like a lot of people, there was a big migration up north. You remember, like my grandfather, a lot of my family members, a lot of everybody's family members came from the south because they was good with their hands and they start working with the mills.
That's right.
Go ahead. Well, you say it or you want to, Swanee talk or Jimmy? Yeah, look it up, man, and you'll see it. It's just interesting, man, ain't it?
Put it in the comments for anyone that wants to check it out later. What's your thoughts on it, Jimmy?
He's mute.
I'm back. No, I'm here.
Yeah, but they're cracking.
No. I just agree that I do agree that in 65, if you want to destroy a people, you have to destroy the family unit. And what has happened is that our people are like what Swanee said. They're separated. You have guys that want, like he said, that want to be players for life, and girls that say they can do it on their own, and they're trying. That's not going to work. Okay. It doesn't. I don't care if a woman makes a whole bunch of money, and I don't care if a guy can wash his own clothes. That doesn't mean that you don't need a spouse.
Mm-hmm.
The family unit is how you're supposed to do it. And that's how you do it. If you want to win.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to win, we talking about winning. You know, I'm not attacking anybody's life or anybody's lifestyle or nothing like that. But if you want to win the game of life, that's how you play. And victory doesn't care about, you know, your mental health or any of this other crap everybody talks about every day, how everybody feel and all their feelings, all this stuff. If you want to win, you got to play the game the right way. And the way you win is nuclear family right there, because women and men are different. My wife, now that I have a son, my wife is different from me. She got a different way of thinking and acting, and I got a different way of thinking and acting. And looking at a baby, you see, okay, baby need both.
Yeah.
He need her and me. He need both personalities to learn how to make it in this world.
Facts.
Okay, so I don't know whether they did it to us in 1965, whatever. I know this, our people not, you know, coming together as families, and that's hurting. That's hurting us.
And we need mental toughness, man. We have to get mental toughness. Like
toughness is over with. It's over. There's no more of that.
That's what I'm saying. Our generation was pretty tough, I would have to say. But you know what I like to say is, tough times breed strong people. Strong people build good times, and good times create weak people. See, in our generation, we came up and we conquered certain things, and we shielding our kids from certain things, which we should. However, they don't know anything. They just know this social media stuff. They don't know what we had to go through, and we don't know what our parents had to go through. But now I think it's a little bit easier for these kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember growing up, I was walking around Wilkinsburg at 8'7". In Braddock, I was 8, walking all over the place. Going to the store, I remember my mom gave me a note and say, "Go get some." You know, I barely could read. I just gave a note to the 8th Street Talbot Market right there. You know what I mean? Got the stuff I needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't do that anymore. And then like the community was supportive. You know, like, I didn't get bothered. I used to be down 3rd Street hooping all the time with my friends, and there would be drama there, but they kept me out of it. I wasn't a fighter. you know what I'm saying? So I mean, thank God. You know, God be the glory, because I saw some people getting jumped and stuff. But thank God it wasn't me.
Well, I think a lot of it is between our generation and the people who are a little bit older. You know, there were a lot of people that said, "Man, I was without. I didn't have this or that. So make sure my kids want for nothing." And you know, honestly, that's hurting people.
Hold on, my sister's watching. She's gonna tell. Don't say nothing. I'm gonna flip out. I ain't telling the business. I'm just, go ahead.
Your sister ever beat you up or pin you and be like, "Shh, shh, shh," when you
I ain't gonna talk about that. I ain't gonna say nothing. I played the fizz if.
Well, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
You got a line, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, when you end up giving everyone everything, then you know it ends up hurting in the long run. So, what's going on now with this generation, the upcoming generation, it's no different than what's going on with the with the Black community. I remember I saw someone that said on one of my posts, he said that the pacifier needs to be ripped out of the Black community's mouth. And I was surprised, to hear this gentleman say that. But, you know, I see where he's coming from, because in some ways we've been kind of passive, you know, and been given a lot of things. And, you know, a lot of it has to.
It's the women, man. Let's keep it 100, bro. It's the women who's doing that. It's not the men. When we playing? I know I don't play when it comes to the kids, man. I take it hard, like, man. But it's the women, man. We allow them to do everything, and they be like, "Oh no, don't do that. Don't be so hard on them." I'm like, "No, man, this is real life. You know what I'm saying? I got to prepare you out here, man, because you ain't staying here past 25." But you know, this is me. But sorry, my son right here. Like, sorry, Ron.
Nah, but what we didn't talk about is the system. The system is designed that way. Okay, they've completely taken the morals out of schools. They already don't teach us true history to begin with, and then they take the morals out of the school because the morals are out of the household. You remember back in the day,
Real quick, did you
go ahead.
remember? You remember we got? Did you? What school did you go? Well, we're gonna talk about that. But I remember in third grade they was spanking people. But go ahead.
And Wilkins, listen, and Wilkins, I'm
yes.
calling them out.
Yes.
No, in Wilkins, I got paddled. I'm calling them out. Mr. Marino, you paddled me in third grade. Now, Mr. Marino, he was Dan Marino's cousin. I found out later.
Wow.
Listen, I told my mom. My mom went up to the school, cussed him out. But no, I got paddled in third grade, man. Wilkins Primary School, Woodland Hill School District. I'm calling them out.
I remember Miss Feathers, man. She was lighting people up too. Miss Feathers, I remember her. Yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off. You got me excited when you said that.
Wow.
No, but the system is designed. You know, back in the day, if you guys are familiar with Hill's department store, right? Hill's was a department store that was like the Walmart back in the day. You know, Hill's is where the toys are back in the 80s. You know, when our parents whooped us because we did something wrong, everybody else just looked and just minded their business. Nowadays, if you whoop your kids out in public, you can go to jail, right? So everything has been softened over the years, and it started in the 60s and the 70s, and then definitely the 80s, and then you got the crack epidemic and Crime Bill Joe in the 90s, and the whole 9 yards. And the system was already designed against us to separate us to begin with. Now,
so what do we do now, though?
What's that?
What do we do now?
We as men now, we have to exploit that and actually bring the conversation back to the table and start, educating and promoting self-education as well. Like Jimmy X always says, there's libraries everywhere, and the internet is right there for you to search information and gain some knowledge on our past and our history.
Okay. Right. I definitely love that, man. It's interesting because I was listening to Boyce Watkins today, and he was talking to Jason Whitlock. Everybody hate Jason Whitlock, the black community, I guess. But he was talking to him, and he was talking about this thing about we need to be on code, as African Americans, and I'm saying that's impossible because in order for you to do something, you have to have rules, and if you have rules, you have to have consequences for it. You know what I mean? Because most people is not going to willingly do it. Like if someone gets out of code, what do you do? So I just don't think tribalism is not going to work. And maybe shout out to Fawn. Fawn can talk about it more than I can. But I would think, like if you look at Africa, they were tribal. You know what I'm saying? Like they had the tribes that had their different codes. You know what I'm saying? So how do you move as a unit? There's no way. We're just too much free individuals unless you have religion with it. Because religion has a code.
I just think the focus should be on the family. I think if we strengthen our families, everything else have to fall in line.
But that's part of the code, right? Like that's a code. So what I'm saying is, if someone feel like I want to be free and individual, and I want to do me and all this other stuff, how can you combat that? Because they're the ones having these children and raising them on their own, feeling like they could do everything on their own. What do you think about
terrible.
that?
And
that's just a problem on a problem on a problem.
Right, but there's no shame in regards to it. It's big.
It's normalized.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what Ron's talking about as far as like code, right? We could never actually get to that place, but I hate to sound negative. We're not going to get to a place where families are becoming dominant unless that type of code is established. So one of the things that has to happen is we got to bring back shame. We got to bring not messing with certain people. We got to bring back like, hey, if you keep on doing this, then we're not going to support you.
Right.
Accountability.
Yeah. Accountability. And we see what happens with accountability. Accountability is why you know, like I said, I don't agree with everything he says, but right now there's a petition to take Kevin Samuels off of the internet, while at the same time there's other, you know, people who do the same thing, and they, you know, say things about black men. There's no thought of, I mean, that's being done in retaliation, but
Yeah.
you know, other than that, there's no thought of you're not going to see a man put out a petition to say like, oh, they've been bashing us or whatever. You know, most men, right? Most men, even if they don't do it, they might agree. Like if you say like y'all dudes need to start taking care of your kids and pull your pants up and something, you know, they might not do it, but they'll be like, yeah, you're right, and so on. But they're not going to be like, no, we take care of our kids, and they're really not doing it. They'll agree and they'll either do it, and they'll agree and they may not do it. But that's a starting place. We have to have accountability.
But it takes a village to raise a whole family.
And
You
they're
know,
not gonna let you do the village though, because the kids demand respect now, not the parent. You know what I'm saying?
that's because great grandma and them passed away.
Yep.
and then teach, you know, our great grandmas and our great granddads that pass it down to us. And so we have to search out. Absolutely. We have to search this information for ourselves. So our generation, you know, we're in the middle of, you know, we're in between, because we have all the talent and the potential in the world, and we're the most educated and the most conscious thinkers in history right now. And this is a very important part of history, because now we're up against our elders and the young kids, and we're in the middle, and we have a decision to make. We have to, you know, through the criticism, because they're not all going to agree with us, but we have to hold them accountable, the old folks and the young folks. You know what I mean? Regardless if they agree with us or not. You know, especially with the, or when they say, you know, our people fought and died for the right to vote. Man, our people fought and died for the right to live. You know, okay, it's something more than just a vote. Our people died trying to eat. Our people died trying to get a job. You know what I mean, and save their families. A right to vote. What has voting got us since the 1960s? Nothing.
You're right. It's funny. I was looking at a statistic. It was like I want to say don't quote me on it, but like 100 African Americans was in the elected in the Senate, in the House, and just government electors. Now it's like 8,000, and still yet nothing is happening. 8,000. It might be more. No, that was 1992. There's a lot more now from the statistics I'm reading. But nothing is being done.
Yep, we got to hold them accountable. The Congressional Black Caucus, they've been in there for the last 50 years. They have not done nothing. And Benjamin Crump, I'm about to get a petition for him, because if he don't start paying these families that he's representing, there's something wrong with that. Just like our lady from, just like real quick, just like the lady that stepped down or resigned from Black Lives Matter. She got that bag and ran.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable! And then you have Jeff Bezos giving $100 million to the crying
Van Jones.
CNN. Is crying on. I need to learn how to cry. Do I need to cry on here to get the $100 million?
Baby.
Can we all just get along? Can we all just get along, please?
Oh, you got the echo in there.
Give me 100, man. Come on, give me 100 stacks. I know what to do with it.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
Van Jones, he must be running for president, man.
You think?
I don't know. It's something behind this.
I think he running with the money. That's what he want to do. $100 million.
Why you give it to him though? Like out of all people, like why you give it to him?
Because he's a Democrat. He supports Hillary Clinton. He cried when she didn't get win the election, and he was hoping that she'd get in because he had a guaranteed position if Hillary got in.
We're gonna talk about that on another show. We gotta bring you back on that one. We're about to do it tomorrow or something, man. One of these days, man. Woo!
Oh Lord, Master ain't get in. I'll be able to get my biscuits. Lord.
We gotta learn how to cry like K Sweat, man, for real.
And we gotta make it last forever.
Facts.
Oh man. What's going on with the Blue Earth, Jimmy?
Oh, I couldn't get my baby's picture up there this time.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. It's kind of quiet over in the Jimmy Triple X house. I was like, maybe he got to mute it while he's doing Triple X things.
No, I'm watching my son on camera.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. We're gonna wrap up, man. We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be coming through, giving the heat on these topics. Jimmy, you want to promote anything, or just say the last remarks?
Hey, well, I just really appreciate y'all having me on the show, and I want to encourage everybody to go out there and do your thing, man. Do it hard.
Do it and do it good.
That's right.
And everybody get a library card. Tell them Jimmy Triple X said.
That's right. Get a library card. It's plenty of knowledge in that library.
Indeed.
So, do you want to get the last words?
Yeah, man. First and foremost, man, I'm always appreciative of you guys allowing me to share, some just the fellowship with you guys, man, and I just appreciate it. And as always, man, I always love and support, and I always say it, and I'm going to say it from this point out. All those who are out there watching, make sure you subscribe to TNJ Radio Show, hit the like button and share. And don't forget to go over Josie's Sports Nation and subscribe, like, and share as well. You fellas, bring great content, man. And I appreciate the conversation and the content. And, I love you guys, man. And, continue to do what you're doing, man. And I stand with Simone Biles, no matter what. But yeah, at the same time, I understand the situation, and we got to hold each other accountable, man. And that's how we progress as a people. We have to hold each other accountable and call each other out. If you see me doing something wrong, I want you brothers to call me out on it. If I see y'all doing something wrong, I'm going to call you out, because that's what brothers do, man. And that's how families survive.
Right. That's right, man. Give you another applause on that one. You killed it today, I tell you. You brought that heat, man. We love you too, man. And when I get back to Pittsburgh, we're going to have to do this live.
Absolutely.
We're going to do it live, man. All right.
Thanks for coming past, Swanee.
Oh, man, that was dope, man. That was dope.
Man, excellent. Yeah. Man, I'm sitting there. I was learning things I didn't know before. I didn't, you brought out the. I got to look through this report, man.
Yeah, definitely.
This is big.
I saw it today. I was going to text you about it, man. I was like, what? Like, this is a game changer here. They actually tried, or one person tried to help the Black community, and the Democrats denied it. They rejected it in the Senate. And I'm like, wow.
It's just amazing that people will support their own oppression.
Right. And we're going to talk about it one of these things. But I've been talking about this the last couple of days. Shout out to Thomas Sowell. But intellectuals, they ruined this country, man. These so-called intelligent people. These what do you say? The pathway to hell, basically
paved with intentions.
No, he said paved with the Harvard degree. That's what he said. Yeah, man, it's these intellectuals, because you don't call them out. And one thing that Thomas Sowell said, shout out to him, he was saying that when you have a construction worker and he built a high building, and let's say it's let's say it was a skyscraper. And if a bunch of people die on this skyscraper, his career will be over. But these intellectuals can come on here and just have no backing on what they're saying, and they go with it, and they destroy America, and they get no consequences for it, none whatsoever. Even Boyce Watkins, like Boyce, I remember he was talking about Bitcoin, right? At one point, telling all his followers to get on it, and they lost so much money. He didn't lose his career over that.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like, put your career on the line for what you're saying.
right. Yeah.
You know, put your career on it. You know, and everything should be debated. Like, there should be backing. I mean, that's pretty much what they do in law school. You know, in these Ivy League schools, they debate. You have to debate everything and look at all facts.
Right.
You know,
And that's how it used to actually be. I mean, even in times, before America, there was always going up to the gates or whatever, and people would get around and they would debate different ideas. Things
right?
wouldn't just, fly by. So we got to get back to that. It has to be that's one thing I talk about, critical, thinking, because, with critical thinking, you can't just put something out there and just, you just accept it. You have to, debate about it. You might have to do some action in regards to it to be able to prove that it's true.
Yep.
All that stuff is definitely needed. And I kind of felt attacked when you were talking about the intellectuals earlier, but when you started explaining it, you're right. I mean, they even said in the past that a lot of people who can't do, they teach, right? So
Right.
for us to be able to grow past that, a lot of the intellectuals, I know we're wrapping up real quick.
Now, go ahead.
I sit there and think about when I used to work at Dish Network's customer service. And there used to be times when, I was in the customer service and there were the technicians. And we thought that we were really smart with everything. But the technicians, they were out there in the field. They were actually doing it. So a lot of times they would call in, because they need something like what's called a hit or something of the sort. They know what they need, but they couldn't do it. They needed us to do it. And we're trying to, show we're so smart. Well, did you do this? Did you do this? But these people, they're out in the field.
Yeah.
These people who are, making, putting up TVs and, not having the wires show and all that. These are people climbing on roofs. So who are we, the little call center guys, to act like we know more than them? There may be
Right.
things we could help, with, but sometimes it's humbling to where you got to get out of your mind. And I recommend, this, guys. The mind is a powerful thing, but you got to also get out of it and you got to go out there and do. You got to go experience it. Otherwise it's nothing but a theory.
Yep. And also, one thing that he said as well is there's no solutions. There's only trade-offs. That wasn't rehearsed. I don't know what that was, but that was your thing. that was perfect timing. Um, but yeah, there's no solutions. There's only trade-offs. And a lot of people having these solutions, but then we're trading things off. Like the solution was to give single moms all these benefits, but the trade-off was you lost your father out the house. You know what I mean? It's a lot of trade-offs, and you got to see if you're willing to deal with the trade-offs. Like right now, if you're sitting and trying to make extra money, guess what? The trade-off is you're not going to be home with your kids. You know, so you got to weigh the pros and the cons. But man, it was a dope conversation, man. I was kind of feeling a little out of it today, but this lived it up, man. It was a good conversation. It's kind of stuff that we be doing anyway on the phone. So.
Right. Yeah. So I hope everybody, if you're watching this, be sure that you, if you haven't already hit the like button, be sure to hit the like button. If you're
Share
on
it.
YouTube, share it. If you're on Facebook, get the YouTube link, also, and subscribe. Because there's a lot of content over on our YouTube page, and you don't want to miss out on it. You don't want to miss getting a sip of T&J. Can't get a sip of T&J if you ain't on the YouTube page. So
right, definitely donate to the Cash App. Donate to the cause, man. And with that, man, we can end it up, man. I'll holler at you another day.
Yes, sir.